Double, double, toil and trouble. Fires burn as cauldrons bubble. Zombies walk the dead of night, as witches fly in pale moonlight. An eerie feeling grips the land. It's almost time. Halloween's at hand. Hello there, mortals, and welcome back to Halloween time. I'm Gio from Carvalho Creations, and I will be your gracious host for this evening's entertainment. On this week's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own witch's grimoire to add a bit of the dark arts to your Halloween decor. As usual, I will be leaving a full set of instructions, as well as a list of tools and materials I use on today's project, down in the description below. But now I believe it's time to get creating and, of course, go wild with it.
What's up, everybody? This is Gio with Carvalho Creations, and on today's tutorial I thought it'd be a perfect time to start doing a little bit of voiceover work to kind of walk you along my process when I'm making props like this. Now, most of this stuff I got at the Dollar Tree. I think for this prop you can probably get away with it for 25-30 bucks for 4 bottles and 2 books. The most expensive thing here would be that liquid latex, which is about $10 for a bottle, so not bad at all. I'm using scrap hardware that I had laying around my shop. I mean, you could realistically use a piece of foam board that you cut down in whatever shape you'd like and glue it to your surface. I just happen to have these, so it worked out for me. Now, to start off with, I'll be taking some of these plastic eyeballs. I'm going to be cutting them in half, and I'm going to be sanding down the little vein work around the iris itself. I felt like it was too prominent. It looked a little too fake, so if I sand it down, it'd give it more of a pink look and look more realistic. Beautiful, look at that. So I'm just giving a little bit of placement. I want to see where I'm going to put everything, and I think that's pretty good. I'll be putting a smiley face in a second there. We're just going to hot glue this in place, and then we'll get right to the liquid latex work. Now for this, if you guys haven't worked with liquid latex before, this stuff smells and it stains really easy. It stains any surface. So just be forewarned, use some old clothes, and it's super sticky. So watch yourself. Now all I'm doing is taking some cotton balls, I unravel them, and then I'm going to go ahead and completely submerge them in the liquid latex and then put them down over the surface. Now I'm doing the lower lid first, and then I'll go over with the upper lid. It looks more natural that way, I found through experience. Now it doesn't take very much work with this. I'm just doing the mouth here. You don't need to do so many different features. It's a book with a couple eyes and a smile. It's not a big deal. For the teeth, I used hot glue and then cut down individual little triangle shaped teeth and then glued those in place. Now here I'm just putting down a layer of liquid latex and applying the paper towel directly over that, and then covering the entire paper towel with liquid latex as well. And you want to do that, make sure everything is completely saturated, so by the time it dries it gives you a nice hard surface to work with and paint on. And that skin looks beautiful when it's finished as well. We're going to be repeating the same process on this book also. Now, if you guys are just stumbling across the page, it's all about creation and expressing creativity here. We're trying to bring you some interesting builds. I'll be doing Halloween things all year, but we're also going to be doing other holiday work as well. I'll be doing some Christmas stuff in the very near future. Anything interesting. I do carving, I do furniture refinishing. So if you haven't already, check out my other videos. Stay tuned, because this page is only going to be growing. We'll be having more interesting things for you guys to see, so stick around. All right, potion bottles. So I just grabbed these at the Dollar Tree. I mean, really interesting bottles. Now, when I'm doing props like this, I do a lot of research before I get started. So I have an idea of what I'm going for here. And again, I'm just sanding and scuffing up the surface. It helps the paint adhere to this. and it gives it a more distressed feel. The laundry detergent here mixed with water just glows under black light, so that's why I'm doing that. But like I was saying, the potion bottles, I wanted some variety in the sizes and shapes, so it would look a little more interesting. Like I said, I do a lot of research on my props before I get started. Make sure you have reference pictures with you, so when you're getting everything prepped and ready and you're painting and doing the style, you have something to look at, because it really does make a difference when you're making these kind of things. This is just fluorescent paint. I wanted a variety of color to glow under that black light, so I got myself a little set of these fluorescent paints, and I'm going to be mixing that with just the water on the inside. Now on this bottle here, I wanted to give it more of like a sealed with wax look. So I'm just giving a lot of hot glue here and letting it drip down the sides, and that's gonna sell that look as soon as I'm finished. Like I said, I want a little more variety to every bottle, so there's going to be a slight subtle differences everywhere, but it'll give it a better overall effect at the end. Anytime you're working on this kind of thing, at least myself, I like to have reference pictures next to me so I can kind of portray the idea a little better. I do a lot of research on my props before I start to work, so I know more or less the look I'm going for. And also, you know, keeps me on track to make sure I get it done right and it looks great. Now I'm using my airbrush here. You can easily use just regular paintbrush. This is all craft paint. If you're using an airbrush, what I've come to find that diluting the hell out of it with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol will really help. And it's about a 50 to 50 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're mixing up your paint to spray out of an airbrush, isopropyl alcohol, cheap craft paint from Walmart, works beautifully. But just make sure you overdo it with the alcohol to really thin out that paint. Now here I'm just adding a little bit of black over that brown like you saw me spray, and it's going to give it a feathered effect, so it blends from that dark coloring down into the brown. It gives it more of a rich, distressed, aged look. Not a very difficult project. It's something that I think everyone can do, and very simple techniques help. Now I was lucky enough to find these stickers at the Dollar Tree, and they're perfect for labeling of this nature. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a little razor blade, shred up the edges, maybe scuff and sand up the edges as well, just to make it look more tattered and old. And then I'll be going over that with a dark wash, which is basically just really super thinned out paint, watered down paint, and I'll brush that over the edges. Now, I am no good at writing, terrible penmanship, but I'm just giving a little idea of. We're gonna cover this with some fluorescent paint in a second here, and then like I said, that wash is gonna cover this even more. but you just want a little bit of labeling on your bottle so it doesn't look like an empty nothing. Just using a little bit of metallic craft paint here, just to make it look a little different, a little more color to it. And here's that dark wash I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna apply the same wash to the bottles themselves and then immediately just rub it dry with my fingers. But it gives it an old wash, like it's been sitting on that shelf full of gunk and crust for the longest time. That's the idea anyway. Now, I overdid the wash maybe just a tad here because you couldn't really see the color at the end. So you might want to just lighten up a little bit, but I like the overall look too, because when I'm actually staring at it right now, it's sitting under my TV looking beautiful as ever on that counter there. And during the day, they look just as good as at night. So if you want to have a little more distress during the day, do that. If you want to see some more of that fluorescent bright color, because you're going to have it under black light more often, then leave a little bit more of that glass so you can see through. Now this is more fluorescent paint just to add a little bit more detail to the bottles themselves. I wanted this to have more of like a wax look, sealed with wax. Here I'm just taking more fluorescent paint and highlighting the skull itself. Thank you guys for stopping by to watch the video. I have so much fun making these, so it's so cool to have you come back. You know, there's people that are inquiring and asking questions. And as a matter of fact, this voiceover work right here is specifically because I've had so many people request further information and instruction on these. So this is just a black paint with my airbrush. You can hand paint this, it's not a big deal. I just did it this way because I had it on hand and, you know, why not? And here what I'm going to be doing is adding a few different colors and dry brushing that on there. This is all craft paint. You know, I do a light dry brush, do a little bit of a lighter color just to pop out more of that detail. And this is why the paper towel and liquid latex is so amazing. It gives you so much texture. Now the Mod Podge I'm going to apply to this hardware here, and then I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of ground cinnamon, and that gives it a really cool rust effect. And in a second here, you'll see me take a little bit of like a very light teal colored paint, and I'll be dry brushing that on top of those rusted areas as well to really sell that corrosion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed the voiceover. If you did, tell me about it down in the comments below. If there's anything that maybe I neglected or you want more information about, ask me about it down there as well. I love doing these props and prosthetic work and all this creation. It's so much fun to me. So if you guys have any ideas, you want me to bring something to life that maybe you have an idea for, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm so jazzed and so ready to do more work. This is just more fluorescent paint to the irises themselves, and I wanted to push a little bit of that gross factor, so I'm going to be adding more fluorescent paint to give it that drool look. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching these videos and staying with me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share this video with your friends. I'm going to be making so many more in the future here. So thank you so much.
it seems as though you survived the bitter end of today's video. If our tutorial gave you a bit of a fright, tell us about it down in the comments section below. Leave us a thumbs up while you're there. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because we will be helping you to make your Halloween truly horrifying. But until next time, keep building things, stay creative, and don't you dare forget to go wild with it. I'm Gio from Carvalho Creations, and I'll see you on the other side.
Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to go wild with it.